Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Quarantine Kitchen with me. Hi. So today's episode, I'm going to be making scallion pancakes. Yay! This episode, I'm going to be following two different recipes. They're pretty similar actually, it's just I want to kind of use both because they're similar. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna be following two recipes. So I've been getting a lot of requests from my family members to actually make scallion pancakes, so I'm finally doing it. Nice. So I'm excited to see how it goes because I really like scallion pancakes. I just like food. So I feel like I say I like the food I'm making every single episode, but then again, I'm making it, so I should like it, right? I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get on with the episode. Alright, and as always, remember before you start your recipe, background noise, let's try that again. Alright guys, remember, before you start your recipe, Okay, and as always, remember to wash your hands and tie your hair back when you're about to cook or bake, and let's get on with the video. Yay! The ingredients you'll need to make scallion pancakes are vegetable oil, salt, scallions, sugar, and flour. Okay, so to start, we need a large bowl and a wooden spoon. Ding! Okay, so now that we have our wooden spoon and our bowl, we're going to mix in our flour, sugar, and salt together first. First, I'm going to add in 2.5 cups of flour. I'm just going to use a half cup because in this entire recipe you don't need to use any other 1 cup measurements, so I'm just going to use this so it's easier when I'm cleaning up later. Half cup, 1 cup, half cup, 2 cups, half cup. Okay, if you guys are wondering why I used my wooden spoon when I was getting the flour, it was just so I could level it. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but for some of my other previous Quarantine Kitchen episodes, I've used a spatula or a wooden spoon. Yeah, so I've used a spatula and wooden spoon just to level off my cup, just so I get a more precise measurement. Okay, now you're going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. Let's level it. Sugar. And now you're going to add in 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt. Okay, mix these in a little so they're all combined. You didn't see that. Continue mixing your dry mixture first. Okay, so this is my combined dry mixture. And now I'm going to add in 1 cup of hot water. So I'm going to add in 1 cup of hot water. Half cup. 1 cup. And now I'm going to combine it together. So as you can see, after mixing, my dough has become like very shaggy, which is what you want to see, because after you're done combining all these together, once you're done getting it to this kind of consistency, texture, you're going to knead it on the counter. Alright, so now that our dough has reached its shaggy consistency, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have a clean surface, and I'm going to sprinkle some flour on it and knead this dough. Sprinkle some flour on the surface. Yeah. Okay, so your dough may be quite sticky, so you can always add more flour to it if needed, and you're just gonna knead this for about 5 minutes. Sticky, sticky. very sticky. More flour. Something I forgot to mention when I was kneading the dough for, I believe it was the pretzel video, the pretzel episode of Quarantine Kitchen. When you're kneading, make sure you're not pushing it down with your palm. You're using, what's this called? The heel, the end. So you're just pushing it away from you like that. You're not going down, you're going out like that when you're kneading. So that's just a tip to remember when you're kneading the dough. Okay? Yes. Okay, so it's okay to add a lot more flour because you just want to make sure that your dough is smoother and not too sticky before you let it rest. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes and I'm pretty pleased, I'd say, with how my dough turned out. So it's pretty smooth, it's not as sticky anymore on the surface, which is what you want. And I just rolled it into a ball, or shaped it into a ball, and I'm going to put it in our bowl, the same bowl we used to mix the ingredients in the beginning, and we're going to let it rest for about an hour or so. So let's get the bowl. Ding! Okay, so this is the same bowl we used when we first started making the dough. So I'm just gonna put the dough in here, as you can see, and I'm going to cover it with a cloth, and as I said earlier, I'm gonna leave it for about an hour. Ready? Okay, so while our dough is resting, I'm going to prepare the scallions. So I've washed my hands again and I've cleaned my surface off, and I'm going to cut the scallions. Ding! Okay, so these are just a few of the scallions I have. I have some other ones. So I've washed them and I've patted them dry, and I'm just going to cut them about like 1/3 of an inch, about that. Yeah. So for the pancakes, since if you guys have seen pictures of scallion pancakes, you see the nice green colors of the scallions. So I'm just gonna cut about up to here because that's where all the more vibrant green color is. Those are a little big. Haha, my bad. Okay, and I have a little bowl here just so I can put my cut scallions. Oh no! Okay, ta-da! Here are my chopped scallions. Okay, so as I mentioned many times already, we're going to let the dough rest for an hour, and I put the scallions into my fridge just so they won't go bad because it's actually really hot right now. So if you guys want, you can start cleaning up a little bit as you go, and yeah, I'll see you guys after an hour. See you after the break.
1 hour later.
Okay, so it's been about an hour now, and I'm going to uncover my dough. As you can see, the size is about the same, which is fine, but you'll notice that the texture, it's a lot softer than it was before, so that's good. Yay, it's working. It's a little sticky on the bottom. It's okay. So what we're going to do now is, once again, we're going to flour our surface, and we're going to roll out our dough. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of flour on my surface. And before we roll out the dough, we're going to divide this into maybe 8? Yeah, I think we're going to do 8 sections. So I'm just going to use a knife to cut it into 8 sections first. You want to see? This is what it looks like on the inside right now. You can feel and you can see it a little bit. It's a little sticky, but that's okay. So I'm finished, and we're gonna one by one roll it out and add some oil and scallions. Okay, so I've set aside my other dough balls and I have one with me right now, and I'm going to roll it out using a rolling pin. So since the dough is a little sticky, I'm going to put some flour on my rolling pin just so that the dough doesn't stick to the rolling pin too much when I'm rolling it out. Like so. And yeah, we're gonna roll it out. You want to try and roll out the dough as thin as possible. Also, it's starting to stick a little, so I'm going to add a little more flour on my surface. Okay, so continue rolling. Okay, so I've finished rolling it out. It's about, I'd say, a centimeter thin. So you want to actually roll it out so it's pretty thin. So that's what I did. And I tried to get it in as much of a circle as possible. It's not that easy actually, but this is what I did. So now that we finished rolling this out, what we're going to do is get some vegetable oil and we're going to brush it on the surface. Ding! Okay, so I have a brush to use just so I can spread it on the dough easily, and I have a bit of vegetable oil in a bowl just so it's easier for me to dip, and I'm just going to spread a thin layer of vegetable oil on our dough. Make sure you coat the entire piece of dough. Once you've added a thin layer of oil on your dough, you're going to add your scallions. Ding! Okay, so I have my scallions and I'm just going to sprinkle a good amount on the dough. Maybe a few pinches. So once you've done that, what you're going to do is similar to how you're going to make a Swiss roll. You're going to roll the dough so it makes like a little Swiss roll kind of thing, you know? So it is better if you roll your dough so it's more of a rectangle shape. I rolled it as a circle just because, I don't know, I found it cute. I don't know. I'll roll it in a rectangle for the other times, but this is just a circle. So what I'm going to do is take the end of my dough and I'm going to tuck it in so that it's as tight as possible, but you're also trying not to rip the dough, and you're going to just roll the dough in so all the scallions are tucked inside the dough. Oh my goodness. It's okay, it's okay. Nothing happened. Okay, continue. Okay, tuck those in. Okay, so now that I've finished rolling out my dough, what I'm going to do is make a coil. So I'm going to take one end and wrap the entire roll around it so it forms like kind of like a cinnamon bun kind of pattern. So yeah, I'm gonna do that like this. So this is how it looks once you wrap it like this. The bottom's not as nice. You can see that the scallions are kind of poking out, so just try and tuck those in. And you're going to repeat this step for all your other dough balls. And make sure you cover these finished ones while you're working on the other ones. Okay, so I just finished rolling out all my scallion pancakes, and this is how they look right now. Pretty good. Now we're going to leave these to rest for about 15 minutes.
A few minutes later.
So now what I'm going to do is, once again, I'm going to flour my surface and I'm going to roll each of these out. Something else I also forgot to mention is I have some parchment paper and another separate plate. So once I finish rolling out each pancake, I'm going to stack it on top of each other, and I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper in between just so it doesn't stick together. So flour the surface again. I'm going to take one of my dough balls. See, isn't it cute? I'm going to roll it out and let's see how it goes. So I'm trying to be extra careful because I'm trying not to rip the dough at all, but as you can see there's a little bit of rips and tears, which is okay, but I just want to try and keep it as nice, I'd say, as possible. But yeah, so you want to roll out your pancake as thin as possible once again, so it's easier when you're going to fry it. So I rolled it out to be as thin as when I rolled it out the first time. So if you can see, it's like that. So as you can see also, because there's so many rips and tears, my scallions are falling out, but it's okay. So once you're finished this, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to put it on the plate with the parchment paper. Hold on, let me roll this out again. Like this, put it there, ta-da! That's how it looks, and I'm going to do the same thing with all the other dough balls. And basically what you're going to do is put a piece of parchment paper on top and add your other pancake over it, like that. Okay, before I forget to mention, the reason why I stored my other scallion pancakes like this with parchment paper is because after you're finished and you don't want to make any more and you have some extras, you can always store it in the freezer. So when you do want to eat a scallion pancake, you can just take it out of the freezer and you can fry it on your frying pan. So basically I put parchment paper just so that they won't stick together. And basically you just put this entire stack inside a Ziploc bag and pop it in the freezer. And that's it. And now we're going to move on to frying. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is fry the scallion pancakes, and what you're going to do is turn on your stove top to a medium heat. I just did that, and I'm going to let that heat up a little bit, and then I'm going to add some oil in it after. Okay, so my pan is starting to heat up, so I'm going to add in a little bit of oil before I add in my scallion pancake. A small spoonful. Okay, so my pan has gotten pretty hot now, so I'm going to add in my scallion pancake. So drop it in there. Can you hear that? It's sizzling right away. Wow. So you're going to let your scallion pancake fry on the frying pan for about 8 to 10 minutes, and you're gonna be flipping it so that both sides will become golden brown. Ooh. I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to get a little golden brown on the edges. So I'm just gonna leave it a little longer, then I'll flip it, and then we can always flip it back on the other side afterwards. Let's flip it first so you can see. So that's how it looks right now. As you can see, there's some golden brown spots. So as you can see, there's some golden brown spots there, and you want to just have it this color or basically throughout the entire pancake. Doesn't look too bad. So as you can see, some of the scallions are starting to burn a little bit, so you want to constantly turn the scallion pancake on both sides while you're frying it, just so that the scallions won't burn. So just make sure to continue flipping it back and forth. So we'll give it a few more minutes and we'll take it off. You see, that's how it looks. And I'm going to add another one on there, and yeah. Okay, so here is how the scallion pancakes look. Alright guys, that is it for the episode today. I hope you all enjoyed watching me make scallion pancakes. I hope you guys try this recipe because it tastes really good. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Quarantine Kitchen, and remember to, I'm doing the thing, this is my thing. Remember to leave a like down below and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching another episode of Quarantine Kitchen, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!